Hey guys, what's up? This is Ben Golliver for SB Nation. We're here to talk about the Eastern Conference playoff chase, and frankly, with a couple weeks to go before the end of the regular season, we actually don't have that much finality. The one thing that we do know clearly, Miami is going to be the runaway #1 seed. There's no doubt about it. And actually, to break down this Eastern Conference bracket, it's probably best to think about the NBA as sort of like, maybe the John Wooden UCLA Bruins back in the day when there was just one overpowering, commanding favorite entering the tournament. Nobody wanted to play them. That's sort of what's happening in the Eastern Conference this year. And I think the one thing to watch here over the next couple of weeks is how much does gamesmanship come into play here. You just don't want to be on Miami's side of the bracket. That means you don't want to be in that 4 seed. You don't want to be in the 5 seed. You don't want to be in the 8th seed, although the Milwaukee Bucks probably aren't going to be able to prevent that. You just don't want to be getting Miami before you have to, and that's going to put a premium on the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 6 seed, and the 7 seed, because you could potentially, if you win out on that side, you don't have to play Miami until the Eastern Conference Finals. So that'd be a huge bonus. There are a couple of races to watch within those mixes. You've got the 2 and the 3, which is very tight between Indiana and New York. It's not clear to me exactly how much it's going to matter, whether those teams care about being able to get home court advantage against each other in the second round, but they are only separated by a half game at this point. They're both playing great basketball coming down the stretch, so they're going for it, and that's good to see. The other big matchup to watch, at least at this point, is between 5 and 6, and there's a big difference. Right now, Atlanta and Chicago are separated by just a half a game. If you get that 5 seed, you're probably going to be drawing Brooklyn in the first round, but then you're going to get Miami in the second round. If you fall to that 6 seed, you're either going to get Indiana or New York in the first round, but then you don't have to play Miami in the second round, and you can go forward from there. So to me, that's sort of what to watch. I mean, is there anybody going to be tanking here a little bit strategically to try to fall down into that 6 seed? Are the teams who are potentially lined up to play against Miami in the first round, are they going to all of a sudden fall off the map here over the last couple of weeks? You don't want to play too many games. You want to make sure you're entering the playoffs on a high note, but at the same time, if you can drop a couple of games here and there, I mean, teams would be stupid not to do it, because it could mean a whole extra round of playoff livelihood for them. So I think that's one of the big storylines here, as we enter the playoff chase. The other one's going to obviously be injuries. I mean, you got to look up and down the list and start with Miami. They've been very smart in managing their players this season. I've loved how they've handled the regular season from start to finish. They kind of ramped up slowly to get started. They hit their peak. They proved they could still, perform at or above their championship level from last year. And now they're easing off the gas a little bit down the stretch. They rested LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Wade's actually sat for a couple games here. Those guys are going to be nice and ready for the postseason. You really couldn't ask for anything more from Erik Spoelstra and their coaching staff. The way they've handled it this year, it's just been spectacular. Past that, you've got injury concerns. Danny Granger, he's not going to be available for the Pacers. Tyson Chandler's been a question mark injury-wise. Carmelo Anthony's dealt with some knee stuff. He seems to be at least a little bit better. Past that, you look down. Atlanta's had some season-ending injuries. Lou Williams, Zaza Pachulia, not huge names, but rotation players for sure. The big other question mark is going to be Derrick Rose. Is he going to be available at all during the postseason? Still hasn't made his return this season, which kind of casts that into doubt. And then Boston, Kevin Garnett's going to be the other big name right now. Is he going to be available? If so, what percentage? It sounds like he is going to be available. How close to 100% could determine whether they're going to be sort of an upset pick that's going to be a popular pick, or the kind of team where maybe the favorites are going to be able to dispatch them easier than you might have first thought. I think those are the main storylines in the Eastern Conference at this point. I'm not really going to lie to you. Some people are going to try to play up and say, oh, there's all these teams that can kind of give Miami a tough ride. I don't see it. I see Miami cruising through the Eastern Conference. They can play as many games as they want to try to avoid them, unless one of the big three goes down, and especially if it's LeBron. I mean, the other guys, they could probably still sustain it like they did last year when Bosh went down. I think Miami's going to be cruising back to their 3rd straight finals appearance. Alright guys, thanks for checking out our Eastern Conference preview. Be sure to check out SB Nation on YouTube and also sbnation.com/NBA.